as a collective. Because when we did come together, I brought investors, Fraser brought his investors, Ed brought his investors. We put all of our investors together that we had been working with individually for the last 10 years, and then we've just added more investors into it. And now we think we're up to probably, I think we've got just under about 100 high net worth individuals that invest in the company, which is great. But when we decided that we were going to focus on this full time, we were very honest with each other, and we just said, look, we need to establish from each of us what is it that you really want to achieve out of this. So we're all on the same page. We've all got the same sort of horizons of where we want to go to, because if one of us is more ambitious than the other, that may frustrate that individual if we're not achieving the goals that he wants to achieve. So I remember the three of us writing a statement. We called it a statement of intent, and we did it over the first Christmas that we were together. We said, look, the three of us will go off over Christmas and think about what we want to achieve out of this over the next sort of 5-10 years, and is this going to be the final sort of vehicle of our careers, or we're going to work together? Is this going to give us everything that we want to achieve, or is this a stepping stone to another vehicle that we might go on and do with some other business partners, individually or collectively? And we all came back after Christmas and we wrote this statement of intent to each other, and we circulated them, and everyone read each other's ambitions and goals. And we read them again only 2 weeks ago for the first time since writing them 4 years ago. And it was really, really interesting reading them again. And the three of us at a board meeting sat there and we read them together. And it was like, we're pretty much on track to where we wanted to be back then, to where we are now, which is great. And I always knew I am extremely hungry and ambitious. And I always believed in the three of us that we would achieve what we were capable of. My biggest fear, I think, has been and continues to be us not achieving our potential. That would just break my heart if we didn't achieve what we could that we set out to. Because I believe going back to the jigsaw analogy by coincidence, all the pieces of the jigsaw are actually there in front of you. All the contacts are there, the money is there, the expertise is there. Our role as that classic entrepreneur, I suppose, is to bring it all together and to package it all up and to put the energy and the drive and the vision into it to deliver it. And we're on track to do that at the moment. And it makes me smile when I think, I'm exactly where I want to be, doing the types of deals that I want to do, because I always knew, even 10 years ago when I was doing those HMOs, or 15 years ago when I was doing the buy-to-lets, that was always the ultimate goal. Whether I believed it back then, whether it was achievable, I had no fucking idea how the hell I was going to achieve it. But that would have been the vision of, that's what I want to be doing. I know I'm capable of doing it. How I'm going to get there, I've no idea, and who knows whether I'll ever get there. And funnily enough, we moved house back to Ireland about 18 months ago, and we were packing up the house in Liverpool, and I was going through a load of books and boxing up books from my bookshelf and that, and a piece of paper fell out of a book, which was from a PIN meeting in Manchester in like 2012 or 2011. Again, one of these make this year your best year yet, whatever. And I'd written down at the top, number one goal was to build a purpose-built block of student accommodation. And like that was back in 2011, 2012. I had no idea how I was going to achieve that. But I did it. And I think it's an interesting point and a great example of the old adage of, committing your goals to paper and subconsciously registering, okay, this is what I want to do. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get there, but that's where I want to set my sail to, and hopefully if I know exactly where I'm going, the stars will align and things will fall into place to help me achieve that. And so 2016, although I said in 2012 I wanted to do it that year, that was like bollocks. I didn't know how the fuck I was going to do that, but I did it in 2016. And
it is amazing, because I remember back in 2007 or 2008, the market crash, I read that Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and there's something in there where you write something and you put it on your mirror, and you say it every morning, something like that. And it's amazing how that was probably my most profitable time, technology-wise and also terms-wise, building a portfolio, because every morning I woke up and read the same thing, what I wanted. And it just it's amazing how it's tuned in your
Absolutely,
mind.
totally.
That you start looking at everything is where can I get that, where can I get that? And over the years, just got you get a bit flabby, you get a bit like, oh, do you mean you're comfortable, aren't you? Like probably you were with your portfolio now, you're just comfortable, and that's where I found that the last 2 years where I've just been rolling in technology, and I've been doing it for 15 years now. I'm just bored. And I always have a nice car, lovely wife, 2 boys, great house. It's miserable. What's wrong with me? Do you know what I mean? Miserable. So I kind of like worked out because I'm not no growth, I'm not achieving and something like that. That's why I started looking at development. Because I thought, how do I get my thing is how do I get my portfolio to 1,000? You need to get to 100. That's the next stage. And I thought the best way, build your 25% below market, 25% profit in. Limited company, no stamp duty, extra stamp duty. I mean, you build 10, 20, 30 at a time. Great. I mean, perfect. That's the model I'm going to go in. Went down it, worked out. It wasn't quite. The deals were a bit harder to find. Profit margins weren't quite there. I mean, then you've got the risk of digging around and not knowing. Then you've got something that I didn't know anything about. And then you've got an 18-year wait until you can refinance it. Who knows what's going to happen in that 18 months? I mean, it was for me, with my risk profile as high as that, I just can't sit there for 18 months and think, shit, what's going to happen? So I changed. I met Fraser. I've told the story. I changed tack. But that's why I'm now happy again, because I'm growing and I've written goals down. Do you know what I mean? Well,
Think and Grow Rich, I've read that book about 3 or 4 times. I went through a period of time, probably around 2012-13 as well, where I listened to it. I used to go walking in the morning. I used to get up about 5:30, 6 in the morning and walk around Sefton Park twice, which was like 5 miles in the morning. It'd take me about an hour and 20 minutes. But I had it on audio, and I remember I started it in the winter. I remember it so well. I used to put the big Parker jacket on and wrap up and go out at like 10 to 6 in the morning, pitch black, stick it in my ears and just walk around Sefton Park listening to it. And I did that I listened to the book probably 2 or 3 times, because it's a big book, and I read it 2 or 3 times as well. And I love that book. I subscribe to all of that stuff, and I think my wife is probably the complete opposite to me on that. I've bought and read so many books. I've sort of scaled off in the last couple of years with the kids and that. I don't have as much time, but I'm trying to make more time to read now. But I was just so in tune with all of that. Big subscriber to that. And I believe that I'm living proof now that all of that shit works, because we are exactly where I wanted to be. And it is all about the mindset, definitely about the mindset. And going through those periods of time where we were raising money for the Aviva deal, for the Manchester deal, there was many occasions where myself, Ed and Fraser sat around the table going, oh fuck, have we bitten off more than we can chew here? What the fuck were we thinking? This could all come tumbling down. And I think I've developed a near sort of bulletproof mindset where it's just like, no, we're doing the right thing, we will find a way, and we've just got to make it happen. And that phrase, make it happen, was really important to me when we were raising the money for the Aviva deal. I remember there was one of the YPN magazines, on the front of it in January, one of the January editions, it just had on the front of the magazine, make it happen. And I cut that out and I framed it in my office and I had it beside my door. And I remember I looked at it every single day leaving my office, just going, I've got to fucking make it happen, we've got to fucking make it happen, no matter what happens. If we've got to cut back on our profit, if we've got to give all of our profit away, but we save the deal and we save our credibility and our reputation, we've just got to make it happen. And we've sort of been living by that mantra ever since. And even with this Manchester deal, it's 180 million GDV, that's a big development for any developer, let alone 3 buy-to-let landlords who sort of cobbled this together only a few years ago. But it's what we believe in, and we've surrounded ourselves with the best professionals possible, and we're doing it.
Where can I ask you, for like the due diligence on Manchester or something like that, do you even when you're weighing up like the sites of whether it's possible, do you get professionals in to do that now, or do you have a good enough?
For some aspects of it, we will. Yeah, we know pretty much what we need to do and the information that we need to gather and put together. And it might be that we need the corroboration of our due diligence on rental values or sales values from some of the agents.